Hello everyone, and welcome to another video on the Panov variation. I want to discuss a different structure than what we've seen before. We are actually about to move to a very important structure. The structure with E6. E6 right away. But I want to actually start looking at it from a little bit different angle. Still, let's look at our knight c6, bishop g5, e6, knight f3, bishop e7, and now c5. This is one possibility how the position can transpose, whether it's e6 on move 5 or knight c6 on move 5. The positions are absolutely not far away from one another if this is the move order chosen by black. A difference might be if we are looking at this move order, e6, knight f3, and here the main moves are bishop e7 or bishop b4. But if black plays knight c6, well, white can either play bishop g5 or immediately c5. Bishop g5 is basically our main topic, but let's have a quick look at c5 right here, which is also a possibility. Before we start looking at moves, what's white's idea here? It is actually very important to understand because we are going to see many examples, and most of them are going to look very much the same. White is going to play for his queenside majority, trying to push b4, b5, and another major idea is be able to play a move, let's say bishop b5, not directly with the idea of taking on c6, although possibly, but very important for white is to try and stop black's counterplay on the queen side with b6. Very important idea for black, and white needs to fight it. For example, let's see immediately what happens if black plays just the bishop on f8, b4, b6. b4, almost impossible, but in this position it is very possible because knight takes, of course, queen a4 check, take on c5, pawn takes c5, knight e4, bishop d2, and white's pass pawn and more space just give him an advantage. I mean, no questions about it. For example, this was Delchev against Decker, St. Vincent 2003. Another idea, which is, I would say, more even principle in the position, is immediately going for bishop b5. And after bishop d7, just take right away, knight goes to e5, take on c6, and the same principle is achieved here. Also here, white is better. Barua against Ramesh from 2006. Let's see one or two examples of quite passive play for black. Bishop e7, bishop b5, castle. This is a better version for white if black is doing nothing active, because usually we get this version, a very similar position, or exactly actually, with white not castled yet and bishop on g5. Well, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to imagine that castle is a much better move than bishop g5. For sure, a move white would like to play. Bishop d7, rook e1, for example, b6, knight e5. Again, very similar ideas. If capture, well, where black pieces are really going is a question, but after knight a5, not much better for black, and big advantage for white is